guys, welcome to another video. Today we're reviewing X-Men Dark Phoenix. This one came out in 2019 and was directed by Simon Kinberg and stars Sophie Turner and James McAvoy. Now before we start, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the post notification bell so you know for a video. Let's just start. Let's start talking about the good. So all the actors and actors in this film are all great. I enjoyed every single character in this film. Of course, the actors and actors who portray them are fantastic. Multiple actors and actors in this film were in the previous X-Men films. This is sort of supposed to be the culmination of the X-Men franchise. The opening backstory, I thought it was good enough. Basically, Jean Grey kills her parents with the powers, obviously by accident. I believe it was a car accident. And then Jean Grey meets Professor X, played by James McAvoy. And like I said, James McAvoy is phenomenal as Professor X. I really enjoyed his performance in this film. The cinematography, which includes shots of cameras and lighting, is mostly good. There are some sequences that I felt could have been cleaned up, but overall I thought it was good. The first act of the film is entertaining. It sets up the characters well. A lot of them we don't need setup for because we already know the characters, but they do get right into it with the characters. And overall I thought it was a good first act. There's an entertaining space sequence in the first act with basically all the characters. I didn't really see the need for that sequence, but it looked fine and it was entertaining. The second act of the film is okay. It progresses the story well enough. I cared about what was happening most of the time in the second act of the film. And the action sequences, they're okay. Not the best action sequences in the X-Men franchise. Nowhere better than the first two X-Men films in terms of the action sequences, and the more recent ones like Days of Future Past and X-Men Apocalypse and Logan. So I thought they're okay, especially X-Men vs. Dark Phoenix. It was fine. Raven's death. Now, Raven dies in this film, of course, played by not Katniss Everdeen, but Jennifer Lawrence, and she's good in the film. Her death is emotional enough because, of course, she was in the previous films, so I did have sort of a connection to the character. Magneto, played by Michael Fassbender, is easily one of, if not the best character in this entire film. He is fantastic in this film. I really love Magneto, especially Michael Fassbender's version of him. I really love Ian McKellen's version of Magneto because, first of all, he's the original, and he's very good as Magneto. But Michael Fassbender always had that sort of creepiness to him where you didn't know what he was going to do, whether he was going to change sides or stay with you throughout the entire film or just kill some random people. You didn't know what he was going to do. And since he's so powerful, that works for his character. So he was great in the film. Vuk, played by Jessica Chastain. She is not a good villain, and I'll get to that later. But she does develop a relationship with Jean Grey, which makes her very scary, as well as Jean Grey. And I thought those two characters were scary in the film because of what they planned to do, and Vuk was really behind really everything in this film. And I'll get to her character later. The third act of the film I thought was mostly good, especially Vuk tries to take Jean's powers away from her, and of course use them for herself. The classic villain trying to take the powers from the hero, trying to use it for herself, not knowing that it'll probably kill her. And it was mostly good. There are some sequences that I didn't feel, which I'll get to later, but overall, it was fine. The final battle, which is X-Men vs. Vuk, like I said, is okay. Most of the stuff in this film is just okay, not really good, just mediocre. And the ending sequence, I thought it was good. Professor X and Magneto, they're playing chess, very reminiscent of the chess scene from X-Men 2000, where Magneto's in his cell and Professor X and Magneto are playing chess. I really enjoyed that callback, and it really shows that, of course, they are still friends throughout all of this, and I really enjoyed that sort of brotherly aspect between them. That's about it. Now let's move on to the bad. One of the worst lines in Marvel history. It's a terrible line. I don't know why they include this line. Raven says to change the X-Men name to X-Women. That is one of the stupidest and dumbest lines I've ever heard in any Marvel film. It's probably the dumbest line I've ever heard in any Marvel film. It was bad. It was very bad. There are a lot of boring sequences in this film as well. This film is very dull. It's not bad per se. It's not bad in a way where I just want to turn it off immediately if it's on TV. Like, I can watch some sequences, but it's very boring throughout most of it. There's also some noticeable CGI and very noticeable CGI I thought everything with Jean Grey looked fine. There's some aspects of the film where the CGI wasn't really cleaned up. And there are some unnecessary close-ups in this film. I do not like close-ups at all. Um, I'm not a fan of close-ups, except when it's Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi is the only person who I find makes good use of close-ups, and it's his own style. So of course Sam Raimi's the genius at close-ups and all of that, but this film tries to do that, and it does not work. Vuk, played by Jessica Chastain, of course, the acting is good. She is a very good actress, but the actual character and writing for the villain is terrible. She is a horrible villain. She's very bland. She does nothing in the film except try to take Jean's powers away, and you could see that they were really struggling to find a character arc for that character because she has none. She does not get a character arc throughout the entire film. She gets a little character arc in the third act of the film, but by that time you didn't really care about her anyway, so it didn't really matter. Now, there's also no real reason for this film to exist. Um, I don't understand why they had to create this film, because I understand if the directors were trying to figure out new ideas for the film, but this is nothing new. We've seen it all before, and it really does not fit into the X-Men franchise at all. Jean Grey had enough screen time in the previous films. I did not think she needed any more screen time, let alone her own film. I cared about Jean Grey as a character because I thought she was interesting, but more of a side character. I care more about Magneto, Professor X, Logan. I care about those characters more than I actually do about Jean Grey. So for me, this film is pointless. And the third act of the film loses some emotional weight because Jean Grey dies, but like I said, I did not care enough about her character in order to care when she actually dies. So it really loses a lot of emotional weight, which is unfortunate. And at the very end of the film, Jean Grey's in the sky. So she dies, and then she suddenly revives herself, which, why would you kill her off in the first place if she's just going to survive? And why would you call this X-Men Dark Phoenix if you're going to actually do that? First of all, we already know that she probably will survive, except for Logan. Of course, that's the exception. Wolverine dies in that film. But in this one, we sort of already know because of the tone that this film is going for, which, by the way, the tone is all over the place. I don't know what to think about the film. There are emotional sequences as well as some funny sequences that do not mix well at all. But that sequence was very dumb. She dies and revives herself. Terrible writing and a terrible sequence. That's about it. X-Men Dark Phoenix is a very, very frustrating X-Men film. I just slightly recommend it if you're just going in for an action film. If you're going in for an X-Men film with a good story, with good characters, good character development, I would not suggest this film at all. So I'm going to give X-Men Dark Phoenix a C-. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and post notification bells. And for a video, I'm Peter. Thank you for watching.